In the heart of the vast sunny savannah lived a little lion cub named Leo. Leo had a fluffy mane that was just starting to grow, bright, curious eyes, and a heart full of sunshine. But Leo had a secret. Even though he was a lion, the future king of the savannah, he was afraid of, well, almost everything. A rustling leaf would make him jump. A sudden shadow would send him scurrying behind his mother. And the sound of the evening cricket. It was a full-on orchestra of scariness to his little ears. His older brother, Leon, who was bigger and bolder, would often tease him, "You're a scaredy cat, Leo." He'd roar playfully, puffing out his chest. Lions are supposed to be brave. Leo would just lower his head, his tiny mane drooping. He wanted to be brave more than anything. He dreamed of leading the pride, of exploring the farthest corners of their territory, and of having adventures just like in the stories his father told. But every time he tried, his little heart would beat like a drum, and his paws would feel like they were stuck in mud. One bright morning, Leo's mother, the wise Queen Lyra, noticed his sad face. She nuzzled him gently and said, "Leo, my dear, true bravery isn't about not feeling afraid. It's about feeling afraid and doing the right thing anyway." Leo looked up at her, his big eyes wide with confusion. He didn't quite understand. How could you be scared and brave at the same time? Queen Lyra just smiled. "You'll understand one day," she whispered. That very afternoon, while the grown-up lions were resting in the shade of a large acacia tree, a tiny, colorful butterfly with wings like stained glass fluttered past Leo's nose. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Forgetting his fear for a moment, he got up and started to follow it. The butterfly danced through the tall grass, leading Leo farther and farther away from the pride. He was so captivated by its graceful flight that he didn't realize how far he had gone. Suddenly, the butterfly flew high into the sky and disappeared. Leo stopped and looked around. The familiar acacia tree was gone. The sounds of his family were gone. He was all alone in a part of the savannah he had never seen before. Panic started to creep into his chest. The grass seemed taller here, the shadows longer. Every little sound made him flinch. He was lost, and he was terrified. He called out, "Mama, Papa, Leon," but only the wind answered, whistling through the grass. Tears welled up in his eyes. He was just about to curl up into a small, scared ball when he heard another sound. It wasn't the wind. It was a tiny squeak, a sound of distress. Curiosity, for a moment, pushed his fear aside. He cautiously tiptoed towards the sound. Peeking through a thick bush, he saw a little baby meerkat trapped with its leg caught under a heavy fallen branch. The little creature was crying, trying desperately to pull its leg free, but the branch was too heavy. The rest of its family chattered nervously from a safe distance, too small and scared to help. Leo looked at the trapped meerkat, and then he looked at the big, heavy branch. His heart started pounding again. This was scary. The branch looked like it could roll. What if it rolled onto him? He should run back and try to find his family. That was the safe thing to do. But then he looked at the baby meerkat's terrified eyes, and he heard his mother's words echoing in his mind. True bravery is about feeling afraid and doing the right thing anyway. He knew what the right thing was. He had to help. Taking a deep, shaky breath, Leo puffed out his small chest. He tried to let out a mighty roar like his father, but what came out was more of a squeaky roar. It wasn't much, but it was his. He walked up to the branch, planted his paws firmly in the dirt, and pushed with all his might. The branch was heavy, so heavy his little muscles strained. For a second, it didn't move at all. He wanted to give up. The fear was whispering in his ear, telling him to run. But then he looked at the meerkat again and pushed harder, gritting his teeth. He let out another, slightly louder roar. The branch shifted. Just a little. Hope surged through him. He took another breath and gave one final, gigantic push. Grunt. The branch rolled to the side, and the baby meerkat was free. The little meerkat scurried over to its family, squeaking thankfully. The entire meerkat clan chattered and bowed their heads to Leo in gratitude. At that moment, Leo didn't feel scared at all. He felt proud. He felt strong. He felt brave. Just then, he heard a familiar, mighty roar in the distance. It was his father. The pride had been searching for him. Leo let out his own roar in response, and this time it was louder and more confident than ever before. Soon, his mother, father, and brother Leon appeared through the grass. They had been so worried. The head meerkat scurried forward and explained to Leo's father what had happened, chattering excitedly and pointing at Leo with his little paw. Leon's eyes went wide. He looked at his little brother not with a tease, but with newfound respect. "Wow, Leo," he said. "You were really brave." Queen Lyra nuzzled Leo, her eyes shining with pride. "You see, my son," she said softly, "you were afraid, but you helped someone in need. That is the heart of a true king." As they walked home together, with Leo trotting proudly between his parents, the savannah didn't seem so scary anymore. The rustling leaves sounded like applause. The shadows looked like they were dancing, and the evening crickets, they were playing a beautiful song, a song just for him, Leo, the brave little lion. From that day on, Leo was still sometimes afraid, but he knew that inside him was a courage bigger than any fear, and he knew that he didn't need to be fearless to be brave. He just needed to have a good and courageous heart. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed Leo's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more wonderful stories. See you next time.